Hey y'all, it's me again, Valerie, and welcome back to my yarn room. Yay! Okay, now I said that I would come on here today and show y'all how to join the mile a minute strips. Alright, now there's a couple of ways that you can do this. But before we get started, I would like to invite anybody who hasn't subscribed to subscribe to my channel. And when you do, give us a thumbs up, share if you can, and leave me a comment. Alright. Now, I have my strips here. Now, one of the ways that you can put these together is with a darning needle. And you can just sew them together. Now, you don't want to sew the peaks, because that's what makes it pretty. You want to start here. Now, I've only bordered half of this one. But, you see how you got your 4 here and your 4 here? Okay, you want to start with these 3 double crochets right here that you've done. So that would be your first one right there. And then you want to come over here to this one, and you've got your 4 here and your 4 here. But you want to start right here, so you split this. And that would be your first one. And you can just whip stitch them together. But there's a way to do it to where you don't need a darning needle. Now, like I said before, I'm not going to border mine in this green, even though that I think is very pretty. And I'm not going to sew them together with this yellow. I'm just using material that I have on hand, just for tutorial purposes. Get your crochet hook. And like I said, you want to start right there in that first double crochet. So that'll be right there. We're going to pull our yarn through. And I'm going to chain 1. Now, I'm going to go right back down in that stitch. But I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get this one. And I'm going to go down in that first double crochet right there. And just do single crochets all the way down. Working over your tail, of course. Because, well, that's less sewing. That's one way to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You'll have like a little raised edge in between them. Hey, let me do a couple more so I can show you what I'm talking about that raised edge. Okay, you go in that one. Then you come over here and you go in that one. And you just do single crochets all the way down. Like I said, working over that tail. Okay, and that's what I'm talking about. You'll have that raised edge in between them. That's one way. Well, that's the second way. Because the first way, I said you can just whip it up with a darning needle. So there's nothing wrong with that one either. But let me show you another way. See, doing it that way, you want your right sides facing you. Okay? Doing it this next way, you want your wrong sides facing you. Let me get my stuff turned around here. Okay. Now, notice I've got my tails hanging out for my wrong sides. Okay. This way is probably easier if you start with a slip stitch or slip knot, whatever. Okay. So, you go in the same place. Right here where the hole is. Oh, yeah, there it is. You got your 3 right there, right? Okay, so you want to go in that first one. But instead of going through the whole thing, just go through the front loop, not the back loop. And then when you come over here to this one, in the same place, right there in that 3, you want to hit this one in the back loop. And loosely just slip stitch. Okay, so on this panel, you want to go through the front loop. And on this panel, you want to go in the back loop. And just loosely slip stitch. Because if you slip stitch too tight, it's going to draw your work up real tight. And you don't want that. You want it to be loose. So pull up on that yarn a little bit before you even get started on the next one. Go in the front loop. Go in the back loop. And pull up on that yarn a little bit. Front loop. Back loop. Like I said before, it's all about the tension. I'm going to do another one, and then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, what it looks like. So, front loop. Back loop. Slip stitch. Okay, let me turn it over so I can show you what this does. Now, imagine if it was the same color, okay? But it puts a nice, neat finish on your work. And those look like it's just stitched down. I think I went a little bit too loose, but see, it does. It puts a nice, neat finish on your work. So, that's just 3 ways that we can sew these strips together. And I wanted to let you know, you can do pretty much anything with these strips. You can make a blanket, obviously. But you can also make a top to wear. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do with mine, is I'm going to make a top to wear. You can make it into a pocketbook. Yeah, that's really easy. All you got to do is take your strips, after you sew them together, fold them over. And you got a rounded bottom there. And all your strips are sewed together. And just sew them up the ends. Put some handles on it. And voila, a crocheted project bag. Yeah. So there's tons of things you can do with the mile a minute strips. All right, that's going to be all for today. Meet you back here in the next one for another grand adventure right here in Val's Yarn Room. Love each and every single one of y'all to pieces. Do something nice for somebody, even if it's just a smile. All right, I'm off for 2 days. See y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.